After 3 years of intensive development, we're now proud to present dedolight Neo, electronic management system for auto sensing of 34 different focusing LED dedolights. Finally, perfect dimming, high-speed video mode up to 50,000 frames per second, all DMX functions on board. Functional details are now going to be explained by Raffael Pollak, one of our team's lighting designers who has accompanied this project from the very start.
Our DT Neo family is powered through the V-mount connector only, which means we got 3 different power options. Battery operation, we have a brand new AC/DC adapter, and there's an external adapter for cabling it through any third-party power supply at your light. For this demonstration, I'm going to run it off batteries, which snaps into place, and it's powered on by hitting the on-off button for a couple of seconds. From now on, it's in idle mode, which means if you lose power and connect it again, it comes back to the last mode settings. Electronic itself is auto-sensing, which means at the moment I'm connected to a dedolight 7 Neo head, which has a new connector layout, and I will disconnect it and connect it to a dedolight 9 with a Neo connector. And as you can see, it would automatically switch on at the same settings. Internally, of course, we are loading up a different library to get the electronic settings correct. Let me go into some of the details in the menu. And we try to keep it very, very simple, which means we got 2 different levels. One is in the manual mode only. And for the more sophisticated functions, you need to have RDM control. And then you can access all the functions you may want to use when you're in RDM, like 16-bit smoothing function and furthermore. So for dimming, we have something we call elastic dimming. When you dim very slow, you go in small increments. When you go faster, you can see that we accelerate the dimming as we go. We got it on both dimming and color temperature. To access the menu, we hit the menu button once, and then we have this once again very simple menu for the manual operation. The DMX menu is only gonna enable you to set your DMX address. If you need to switch once again to 16-bit, you need to go through RDM, but we think our 8-bit is so good that you hardly need to switch to 16-bit. As you can see a little bit already, is if I don't touch the menu anymore, it's going to switch back to the main screen to be easier in operation. So we're back in the main screen, and you can see the DMX address, intensity and color temperature. On the monocolor light head, we would not see the color temperature, of course. The second option that you have, if you have a Neo Plus ballast system, which would be the wireless version, would enable you to either switch on Luminous Radius CMX, the wireless Wi-Fi system, or the Bluetooth system. And then when you switch on Bluetooth, you're going to see a small Bluetooth indication, and on wireless you would have the Wi-Fi indication. But let me switch it off and go back in the manual explanation. So after the Wi-Fi settings, I can access the dim mode. In the dim mode, currently we got 3 different options. One is a linear curve, the option to go for the very, very deep smooth dimming. The second is an exponential, which are the ones you might use most often to have a very smooth dimming or an accurate dimming by 1000 steps. The third option that we have, we call high speed, where you're not able to re-dim, but we can go up to almost infinite number of frames. We tested up to 50,000 frames, but from the electronic basics, we could go much higher. On the display setup, we can disable the screen. So after a couple of seconds, when you don't manipulate on any of the increment dials, it will switch off and only come back on when you used your dials again. So for that, you need to switch on auto-off. Rotation would rotate the display if you mount it differently in a stand and still want to be able to read the screen. The info menu will tell you the firmware version, and we will enable our agents and teach them how to upgrade the firmware through RDM. And there's a small hour counter for rental houses who need to validate the time of running. Most important for everyone is the factory reset will bring all the settings back to our factory standard. So you always can be safe on starting off with a brand new setting where DMX channel 1 is selected, the linear mode, 8-bit DMX. If you need to access the 16-bit, it goes via RDM through the DMX board, and you will find details in the manual, which you can find on our QR codes directly. Okay.